What's up, y'all? Forward with Fabian, and we are back with a video, man. We're doing a reaction to Van Jones shows the message Charlie Kirk sent him one day before he was killed. So let's go ahead and hop into the video, man. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Students at Utah Valley University gathered to pay tribute to Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated on their campus just 9 days ago. The vigil comes ahead of Sunday's funeral for Kirk. Tens of thousands are expected to attend, including President Trump. His murder and some unexpected outreach that Kirk made the day before his death have resonated with our CNN colleague Van Jones. The story begins when a Ukrainian woman was fatally stabbed last month in North Carolina. The suspect is a black man, and Charlie Kirk and Van got into a public sparring match online. Kirk claimed the murder happened because she was white. Van denounced that as completely unfounded. Kirk then sent out what Van calls a fire hose of tweets challenging his argument, which Van says sparked death threats against him. In the midst of all of this, Kirk reached out to Van in a direct message on X. "Hey Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably." Now, that message was sent on September 9th. Van says he did not see it until the very next day after Kirk was murdered. Van Jones just wrote a piece about this for CNN.com and is here tonight. I mean, this is extraordinary. So this was received the day before he was killed.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we were beefing. I don't know. We were going at it online, on air. And then after he died, after he was murdered, my team called and said, "Van, he was trying to reach you, man." What? And what was he doing? Dialogue. Let's be gentlemen together. He says, let's disagree agreeably. So I'm sitting on this and I'm watching the whole country talk about civil war, censorship, justifying murder about this guy. This guy is reaching out to his mortal enemy saying, we need to be gentlemen, sit down together and disagree agreeably. And the next day he's killed. And I've sat on it long enough, and I just said, you know what? We're going to Memorial Weekend for this man.
Dude's using some strong verbiage. Mortal enemy. We were beefing. Like, that's very extreme. Why wasn't it received in this light while the tweets were going back and forth is my first question. I wish they would show some of the tweets to see how extreme the tweets were. But, I mean, the thing about Charlie, he said things straight up. Face forward, face value. We're not making it cookie cutter. And tying back to the world being overly emotionalized, overly sensitive. Oh, he's my mortal enemy now. Oh, we were beefing. It's like, dude. So as soon as the man is assassinated and he passes, then it's more so along the lines of, man, he was trying to just be agreeable and he wanted to have, some easy flowing discourse. And it's like, dude, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Now, condolences, obviously, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And I'm not trying to make it this or that, but it's crazy to me how the world will switch a narrative and not have empathy. Some people only have sympathy when certain things happen to you. But in the moment, they can't see through that. And that's what Charlie was able to do. He was able to say some things that maybe you didn't agree with, right? But in actuality, the proof is in the pudding when you can still, in the midst of a so-called beef, invite somebody for some friendly discourse, right? Or just to debate and talk about things, right? So I don't understand fully.
We disagree. Everybody knows we were not friends, okay, at all. But you praise the good when it's time to memorialize somebody. And what he did, and I didn't even know it, was good. He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war.
Keywords, and I didn't even know it. You see what I mean? People run with the narrative because they don't know. That's the point in all this. That's why there's so much contention with Charlie Kirk's story, because people only watch the 5-second clips. They don't see the full context. Sure, maybe he was a marketing genius in the sense that he said things to go for clickbait, to go viral, right? But in actuality, when you grasp the full picture, it was always about uplifting people. In his earlier days, he was a little bit more reckless with the things he said. And I think they're taking clips from years ago. I think in his latter time, he was a little bit more refined, right? In his delivery. He still could have some discourse, but earlier it seems like he was kind of a little bit quick-gunned. But that doesn't matter because he always tied it back to certain things. So this whole...
Even know it was good.
I didn't know it. So I ran with the narrative before getting to know. And this is the world we live in. People run with narratives. We don't understand things. We criticize. We demonize people. And then at that point, when they pass away, let's do some research. Let's understand this person. And obviously, they're not there to actually speak for themselves. Death is a thing that's very sorrowful in life. So it immediately draws this whole, oh, I'm going to do some recourse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just can't respect it. People are people, right? I'm not sitting here trying to be like almighty and like sitting on a high horse, but I don't make assumptions and ride with emotion. I look at the proof in the pudding. I look at the full context. I don't run with something because I get triggered.
He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war. He was not for violence. He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me. Even with me.
If would you have gone on his show? Would you have done?
No,
Probably not.
I would have probably tried to get him on your show. I mean,
Yeah, he wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it because he was too caught up in the beefing. He used these strong terms. He wouldn't have sat down with that man because we were beefing. But Charlie didn't. I guarantee you, Charlie didn't see it as beefing. It's what Van Jones is saying right now. This is just friendly dialogue. Or debatable dialogue. Come on, man. You wouldn't have sat down with him. But if Charlie Kirk was here today and we saw the future of his demise, he would have sat down with him out of sympathy. Because he didn't empathize with them in the moment, right? He didn't empathize because empathy is still being able to have a stance but putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And I think Charlie did that. That's why Charlie was able to invite people even though they're in the midst of a beef. Which is like, man, y'all wasn't beefing. Y'all was just going back and forth on X. Let's keep it real. Did anybody really get physically hurt? Was anybody's families in danger? I don't consider that beef then. It's conversation.
I wasn't trying to build this platform, but I would have called him, we would have talked, and we would have started the process of trying to figure this stuff out. And I think what happens is people get so worked up, Anderson, seeing us go at it, they think they're supposed to go out and kill somebody, or go out and talk about civil war, or go out and silence people, or cancel people, or fire people, or censor people. About Charlie Kirk, Mr. Debate, I did not agree with him on literally almost anything. But we were words, not weapons, guys. We were words, not weapons, guys. And we were getting into a position where we could get some real debate going, whether it was going to be on CNN or on his show. That wasn't worked out. But I would have taken him up. I wanted to beat Charlie Kirk in a debate. I didn't want somebody to shoot him. That's how we do it in America.
I gotta chime in. The whole words, he needs to expound on that. The words, not weapon thing, right? Because words, in the overly emotional society we live in, words are misconstrued. And Van Jones has done a perfect example of it here by saying their debates, their back and forth was called beef. So you've taken that word to an extreme that still has context of retaliation. Sticks and stones don't break my bones. Words cannot hurt me. Or whatever that is. Words can't hurt me. Sticks and stones can break the bone. But dude, people are using words out of context nowadays. So guess what? People will respond accordingly. Him saying beef and Charlie Kirk was my mortal enemy. Like, dude, what are we in a comic book? You know what I mean? Like, he's not the villain. You know what I'm saying? What are you, like, Batman? Like, what's going on, man? And people don't even see that deep. They don't even read between the lines to that extent. How people misuse and mislabel things nowadays. It's just like...
And the idea that now people on both sides are justifying murders and calling for civil wars, we got to calm this down, Anderson. We need to calm this down. We need to lower the temperature. Yes, we disagree, but like he said, we can disagree agreeably. That's his last words to me. Let's disagree agreeably. We should take that spirit into the Memorial Weekend for this guy.
You also wrote that in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murders, the Americans have a choice. They can choose more violence, more outrage, more censorship, or a different way. It's similar to what the governor in Utah, Spencer Cox, has said in recent days.
Yeah, look, he's a Republican. He's saying the same thing I'm saying. I'm a strong Democrat. We have a choice now. This could be the beginning of us getting off of this pathway, but the pathway we're on, Anderson, is scary. It's about more violence, it's about more retribution, it's about more censorship, it's about more of everything that nobody wants, but we can't seem to get off of it. Charlie Kirk, in his last message to me, was pointing a way out. Civil discourse, civil dialogue, debate. Let's disagree agreeably. If you want to get off this train, we can do it this weekend.
And that's the point. More people need to point to a way out, a point to come together. People always have these debates to leave it off at a cliffhanger. If you're not willing to extend a helping hand, then be quiet, versus just pointing a finger and critiquing when you're not perfect at all either. And this has just really shown and exposed people's true character. Charlie could have said what he had said. You disagree with it, have a conversation about it. It's finished. And he was actually extending and opening the invitation. So everybody has just got it twisted, man. Everybody's got it twisted. Everybody's just emotional. Everybody doesn't know how to critical think. And of course, I'm using everybody loosely. A majority of people in today's society don't have critical thinking skills. They don't have common sense. They can't peel back the layers. And people what happens when you take things for face value. Things aren't always face value. There's more depth to understand. But people don't care about understanding anymore. Oh, he said this. Oh, he's that way. Oh, it's done. I hate him. Lame, man. It just gets me riled up because we live in such an artificial society. People aren't willing to, nobody wants to get to understand anymore. Comment down below, man. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless. We'll see y'all in the next video.